Okay, good afternoon. I'm Elaine Claus, Assistant Commissioner of the Department of Finance and Treasurer of the City of New York. I represent the New York City Commissioner of Finance on the Banking Commission. And I'd like to start by introducing the other members of the Banking Commission. Mayor de Blasio's new representative is Vanessa Champion. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you.
And Comptroller Stringer's representative, Brian Cook.
Thank you.
The purpose of today's meeting is for the Banking Commission to approve its fiscal year 2017 interest rate recommendations for the early and late payment of property taxes and the late payment of water and sewer rents. We also will vote on the removal of a New York City designated bank and a bank's request for a new Banking Development District BDD deposit from the City of New York. This meeting will be conducted pursuant to the rules of the Open Meetings Law. That means that members of the public have the right to attend, listen, and observe these proceedings, but they are not authorized to speak during the meeting. With that in mind, we'd like to welcome members of the public who've joined us today and thank you for your cooperation. I will now call the roll. Vanessa Champion.
Here.
Brian Cook.
Here.
Elaine Claus here. We have a quorum and we can now conduct the business of the meeting. The May 28th, 2015 Banking Commission meeting minutes have been circulated and there were no previous comments. Are there any comments now?
No.
May I please have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 28th, 2015 Banking Commission meeting?
So moved.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Our next agenda item is the annual recommendation of interest rates for the early and late payment of real estate taxes and water and sewer payments in fiscal year 2017. As required by the New York City Charter and the Administrative Code, each year the Banking Commission is responsible for recommending these interest rates to the City Council no later than May 13th. The Banking Commission recommends that the discount rate for the early payment of real estate taxes remain at 0.5%, which is unchanged from fiscal year 2016. There were a number of factors considered in making this recommendation, including the city's current liquidity, prevailing interest rates, discount rates offered by several other municipalities, and the estimated administrative savings to the city from processing fewer property tax payments. In addition, the city's fiscal year 2016 penalty rates for the late payment of property taxes are 9% for properties with assessed values no more than $250,000, 18% for properties with assessed values above $250,000, and 9% for water and sewer rents. The Banking Commission recommends fiscal year 2017 penalty rates as follows: 7.5% for the late payment of property taxes with assessed values no more than $250,000, 18% for the late payment of property taxes for properties with assessed values greater than $250,000, and 9.5% for the late payment of water and sewer rents. There were a number of factors considered in making these recommendations, including the penalty rates charged by 6 other comparable tax collectors across the country, interest rates charged for secured consumer loans, and interest rates charged by several major credit card issuers, and the rate charged for civil judgments by the State of New York. Are there any questions regarding these interest rate recommendations? If there's no discussion, then I'll read the 4 interest rate resolutions and we'll vote after I've completed each resolution. Resolution 1 for the early property tax payment interest rate recommendation for fiscal year 2017. Whereas pursuant to section 1519A of the City Charter, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to City Council no later than the 13th of May the proposed discount rate for the early payment of real estate taxes. Now therefore be it resolved. The Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the discount rate for the early payment of real estate taxes shall be 0.5% per annum for fiscal year 2017, and further be it resolved that the discount rate is to be offered for only the portion of real estate tax that is paid before the due date. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2, fiscal year 2017 late payment interest rate for properties assessed no more than $250,000 recommendation. Whereas pursuant to the New York City Administrative Code 11-224.1, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to City Council no later than the 13th day of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for properties with an assessed value not more than $250,000 or not more than $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops. And whereas the proposed interest rate shall be at least equal to the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans extended to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city, the prime rate. And whereas the Banking Commission notes that as of May 10th, 2016, said prime rate stands at 3.5% as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, and whereas it is in the city's best interest to encourage prompt payment of real estate taxes by all taxpayers, now therefore be it resolved, the Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for all properties with an assessed value of not more than $250,000 or not more than $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops be at 7.5% per annum for fiscal year 2017. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 3. Fiscal year 2017 late payment interest rate for properties assessed greater than $250,000 recommendation. Whereas pursuant to the New York City Administrative Code 11-224.1, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to the City Council no later than the 13th day of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of taxes for properties with an assessed value of more than $250,000 or more than $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops, or where, irrespective of the assessed value, the parcel consists of vacant or unimproved land. Whereas said provisions of the Administrative Code require the Banking Commission to propose a rate at least 6 percentage points per annum greater than the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans extended to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city. And whereas the Banking Commission notes for the record that as of May 10th, 2016, said prime rate stands at 3.5% as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. And whereas it is in the city's best interest to encourage the prompt payment of real estate taxes by all large taxpayers, now therefore be it resolved, the Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of real estate taxes where the assessed value of a property is over $250,000 or over $250,000 per residential unit for co-ops, or where, irrespective of the assessed value, the parcel consists of vacant or unimproved land remains at 18% per annum for fiscal year 2017. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 4. 2017 late water and sewer rent payment interest rate recommendation. Whereas pursuant to the New York City Administrative Code 11-312C and 11-313E and 11-224.1, the Banking Commission is required to recommend to the City Council no later than the 13th day of May the proposed interest rate to be charged for non-payment of water and sewer rents. And whereas said provisions of the Administrative Code require the Banking Commission to to propose a rate to be charged for non-payment of water and sewer rents at least 6 percentage points per annum greater than the prevailing interest rate charged for commercial loans to prime borrowers by commercial banks operating in the city, the prime rate. And whereas the Banking Commission notes for the record that as of May 10th, 2016, said prime rate stands at 3.5%, as published by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Banking Commission recommends to the City Council that the interest rate to be charged for non-payment of water and sewer rents be set to 9.5% per annum for fiscal year 2017. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next agenda item is a request by Ridgewood Savings Bank for a market rate $10 million city BDD deposit at the bank's White Plains Road BDD branch located in the Bronx. The city currently has a below-market $10 million BDD deposit at the same Ridgewood Savings branch. Further, at the bank's request, the state of New York recently made a market rate $10 million BDD deposit at this branch, increasing its total BDD deposits to $20 million at this Ridgewood Savings Bank branch. We recommend that the City of New York also make an additional $10 million deposit at the Ridgewood Savings White Plains Road BDD branch. Resolution number 5 reads as follows. Whereas Ridgewood Savings Bank has requested that the City of New York make a $10 million deposit at its White Plains Road BDD branch located in the Bronx, therefore be it resolved, the Banking Commission approves a $10 million city BDD deposit at Ridgewood White Plains Road BDD branch. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Our last agenda item is the proposed removal of New York Commercial Bank as a New York City designated bank. Earlier this year, New York Commercial Bank informed the Banking Commission that it submitted an application to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and New York State Department of Financial Services to reorganize, consolidate, and merge New York Commercial Bank into New York Community Bank. As a result of New York Commercial Bank's forthcoming merger and charter change, the remaining bank will no longer be a commercial bank, and as such, the bank may not be a New York City designated bank under Title 22 RCNY 1-03F1. We recommend that the Banking Commission approve to remove New York Commercial Bank as a New York City designated bank. Whereas pursuant to 1524 of the New York City Charter, the Banking Commission is responsible for designated banks that are permitted to hold city funds. And whereas pursuant to Title 22 RCNY 1-03B, designations are valid for 2 years, and the Banking Commission may extend the term of the designation by majority vote. And whereas New York Commercial Bank will no longer have a commercial bank charter, which is a municipal law requirement of a New York City designated bank, therefore be it resolved, the Banking Commission hereby approves to remove the designation of New York Commercial Bank as a New York City designated bank. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Can someone please second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Does anyone have any additional items to discuss before we conclude this meeting? Having completed the business of this meeting, can someone please make a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Can someone second the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Banking Commission meeting is concluded. Thank you.